that in a child, a 3-year-old. Grandma said don't eat the fruit, don't swallow the pips because they'll grow in my tummy. All my mum was trying to do was stop her from choking. But that simple line, that for my mother was probably a throwaway remark, has actually not allowed Anna to eat strawberries her entire life. Because if she can pick the pip out of something, that's fine. But to eat a strawberry, you have to eat all of them. Throwaway words, phrase, sometimes we can't pinpoint it, other times we can, and we are trapped in that mindset of that child that affects. It's why a lot of people that are picky eaters, not all, but some, are because something that's been said at the dinner table by somebody else. Oh, I don't like that, it's slimy. Oh, I don't like that, it's horrible, it tastes like this. Oh, that's like glue. And they just won't eat stuff. The power of words and suggestion that we have through our life impact us, and it creates who we are, and sometimes because of that it impacts other areas of our life that we don't even realise. It gives us limiting beliefs, limiting self-belief, and it doesn't allow us to fulfill our potential because we actually believe at a very real level that we're not entitled to, we're not able to, we're not skilled enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not smart enough, we're not tall enough, we're not strong enough, we're just not enough. And that's why I always try the words of power. There was something I found neat when reading up on the magic practice in ancient Egypt. There was so much involving words of power because of the effect words have. Absolutely. Words do have power. Totally. You tell a child, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid. It will not take them long before they won't even try doing things because their self-talk is, I'm stupid, I can't do that. I'm dyslexic, I can't read. It's just because they don't try. Some are truly dyslexic, but some won't. Names too. Names are binding, absolutely. You're fat, you're ugly. You know, you're this, you're that. We hurt each other without realising it, but then we have to go to that and say, they didn't mean that, we have to let that go. And that's what we need to do. It's that letting go and releasing of those things. They're the things that no longer serve us. It's not, oh, it's just, you know, the peripheral things. It's actually those deep things. And when you've done that, that's when you can have a real meaningful relationship. Because all of this is exactly telling you that. Death and rebirth. This is the card of transformation. We have the death, past, present and future, the 3 skulls. When we actually allow the past to release and we live in the present and realise that the present is a moment and it's fleeting, and when that goes it's gone, and we have no ability to change the future. When we realise that when we die there is a transformation. We die, there is a waiting period before we transform. It is the rebirth, the child in utero. It is the gestation period. We don't just die and are reborn. We don't just change cycles. We don't finish one relationship and jump straight into another without realising there is a time frame between. This is the snake. This is the aphora egg. This child in utero this is the gestation. This is the transformation. But before the rebirth, we have a death, we have a waiting period, and then we're reborn. We have to release, and then we have to wait and allow that release to sink in and everything to change, and then we can move forward. It doesn't, I've released, I've moved forward. It doesn't work like that. When people say, I released it last night, no, I just feel so much better. That's rubbish. You might feel empowered because you've actually released it, but the change, it takes time. It takes time for that self-belief and that self-worth and that self-love to actually You need that period of adjustment, that period of gestation. Things take time. There is a natural order to everything. The sevens, the patience. You have to learn that period of time is there for a reason. Because when we release, we then actually have to truly let that go. And then we have to heal from that release. Because that's been a part of us and we've let that go. And it's like, I'm getting used to that now. How that limited me, how that changed me, how that made me do those things. And we can get angry going, that silly, that one phrase, that one sentence changed my entire life. And it might not be as simple as eating strawberries. It might be something quite significant. You're not lovable, you're not worthy, you're not pretty, you're not interesting, you're not intelligent. No one's going to want to marry you. No one's going to want to have a relationship with you. I don't know why you're bothering. You can't learn anything. Why would you think you could do that? You can sweep the floor, that's about it. Take the rubbish out, that's about it. That's how those simple off-the-cuff remarks, when we're not even thinking, scar people. There is so much change coming for you, but it is the release, the gestation, and then the transformation, rebirth. Things take time. I'm glad a lot of this has resonated, and I'm glad you understand the reason of the cards, because I guarantee that most people in chat were able to resonate with some part of that. And we're going to pick either a universe card, a Moonology card, a chakra card, or a Wicca card. Which one would you like? Wicca? Wants to stick. Rocks and standing stones. Isn't that funny? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. How wrong that saying is. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words scar you forever. Rocks are the bones of the Mother Earth, supporting her and therefore us, because they take millions of years to form. They hold ancient earth wisdom and knowledge, power and strength, as do we in our genetic code, in our muscle memory, in who and what we are. We have innate wisdom that comes through with us. A stone also brings some of the character of the place where it came from, as does our upbringing and our nurturing bring our character to the fore. Stones bring grounding, elemental earth energy, and can help you connect with the primordial energies. Earth is grounding, and the primordial energy was actually the primordial soup, which was the water element, of which you had a great deal of. So we have the grounding energy of the boulders and the standing stones, but actually the primordial energy isn't just the earth, it was the soup the earth started from, and that was liquid, that was water. And it is our emotions that where we connect most. Call upon this strength when you pray or meditate. Feel the strength of stones, timeless wisdom helping, supporting and connecting you. And use stones to help stabilize stress-filled places. In other words, use crystals. Because the stones from the earth are the crystals, because the stones, these are the element of earth. Every single one of these is an earth stone from somewhere. But there are also river stones, and there are river crystals, and it is wherever they come from. So you can take something from the earth, but you had a lot of water energy. There are smooth river stones and ocean stones. They're called marine stones. And when I used to massage, I used to do a specific massage called the ocean stone massage, and they are smoother than the river stones because they've been washed by the ocean, and the actual tidal motion of the ocean smooths them down. They're very hard to get hold of because they don't want everybody just taking a lot of them, so you have to wait. They only release so many a year, and you have to be professional at a level. What's the stone next to the wizard deck? This one here. This is an amethyst slice, and it has luck on it. This is an amethyst slice. All my crystals do that. This one is a rose agate, and that's a turquoise. You've seen the stone massage. There are some people who use river stones. Ocean stones, you actually have to be accredited to use them because of the ground from the sea ground. You have to know how to use those particular ones because they're very different to a normal stone massage. You have to go on a month training course to use the ocean stones. They react with certain oils, so it's very different to the normal hot stone massages. They're a dime a dozen. You can get those from any wholesale supplier who does massage and stuff like that. But the ocean stones, they're very, very different. I've been a masseuse for 35 years. So, yes. But I'm glad that helped. I really am glad that helped. Leviathan, and then too much jasmine. Oh, on a private beach? Yeah. They may have been able to pick their own stones. But most of them come from quite deep. They don't wash ashore, the deep ocean ones they use for those. They're normally picked by special divers because they've got to go quite deep to get them. Which is why we're on a waiting list, are only allowed so many. Would you like to pick a deck, Leviathan? Druid, Gaia, Wizard, or Animal? I'll look for some of those stones near the deck. These are I bought from a particular shop that are done. The Gaia, absolutely. These ones here, they're just river stones. So, You're very welcome for the reading. You absolutely are. I will, after Jasmine, I will then be closing the channel because it's 2:30 now. So I've now been on 6.5 hours. And that is nearly right. She'll be getting up and I'll be going to bed. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So it just seems that Thursday is the night when I get more people. So, as I said, if you're in channel and you have followed, thank you very much. If you're able to subscribe with your Twitch Prime, that's wonderful, thank you. It'll help me with my sub-goal challenge. If you have followed, please press the notification in channel so that you know when I'm going live. If you're able to follow me on Twitter, that helps as well. And if you get my notification I'm going live, please retweet it. Whether you have 6 followers or 600, the more I can get it out there, the more I grow the channel. And that's what I'm trying to do, is the new year is really grow this to be a very strong community. And to be quite frank, I want to win the challenge. I want 1,000 followers by next, I'd like more, but that's the challenge, 1,000 by the 17th of December, which is Anna's birthday, and 100 subscriptions. So whichever one is closest, and if there's a tie, we're in trouble. We go to the end of the year and see what happens on New Year's Eve. So I'm kind of almost wishing for a tie, and then a last desperate week or fortnight. So I do appreciate the follows, I really do. And again, if the readings have really resonated with you, please, under the vera.tarotdna.com, you showed your friend and sister my first reading the other day. What did they think? If I can do a general reading or a question? If you want a question, can you type it in chat? If you want a general, just put general down, please. I don't know what reading you're having, but those 2 cards are going in it. I don't have a specific question in mind, more so just a specific area like relationships. That's absolutely fine. We can do that. Or what I can do right now, need to focus on, absolutely. What do you need to focus on to bring a relationship into your life, or to improve a relationship? Oh, your sister don't let you know yet. Okay. When she does, let me know. I'd be interested. Hang on. Here comes the cat. She's saying, what are you doing here? How can I get to lie in this area if you're already here? She's funny. Okay. Your underlying energy. Improve a relationship because I'm just dealing with bouts of jealousy and insecurity for no reason. I'm tired of putting myself down because of my confidence. Okay. Not a problem at all. So, improve the relationship, looking at the shadow card, which is the 5, water. The 5 of Cups is very much dealing with what we've been talking about. The 5 normally has 3 cups on the floor, laying down, and 2 somewhere else in the card standing upright. The cups that are, and you see the picture, crying in here and the fish here. What they're not seeing is the rays of sunshine over here and what's going on here. Because they're seeing part of this and not the rest of it. To improve a relationship, and improve the relationship with yourself, let alone a partner, is you have to let go of the past. Because you are focusing, like we saw earlier in the other deck, you are focusing on what has gone before and not what's in front of you. If you focus on what happened in another relationship, another friendship, or how you've seen other people relate. What is creating this is you are projecting that, and you're not looking at the two great cups that are filled. So it's almost like the current relationship of the two cups you're not focusing on, because you're looking down and thinking and focusing on the ones before. And going, I don't want to make that mistake again, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. Oh no, I don't want that to happen again. I don't want that to happen again. And you're actually not focusing or doing anything in the present for the relationship that's at hand, because you're actually focusing on the negative of the other relationships, which is a very common problem. Is I don't want to make the same mistakes of the past, but we do is dwell on the mistakes of the past and not what's going on, and then we make those same mistakes again, because they say, you're here in the room but you're not with me. It's like you're zoned out and you're somewhere else. Okay. This here is the Four of Fire. This would normally be the card of the... Do you have a tip for looking up and releasing the past? No, that's the type of question you can't just do a quick tip from. That's a very different thing. You can, very briefly, it's not looking up and releasing your past if you're talking about something in this lifetime in the past. It's more if you're actually trying to do that with another previous life. If you have something you need to release now, to let go of, then once you know exactly what it is you need to get go of that's causing the problem, you can write it down, you can burn it on a piece of paper, and you can do that and go, when you work through it and talk about it, you actually go, I don't need that anymore. That feeling isn't valid anymore. You can do EFT tapping if you know the skill set to do that. My friends just tell me I'm overthinking too much. Exactly, that's what that card is. She's just overthinking, and by over analysis paralysis, that just overthinking. You're not in the moment, you're in your head. It's like someone's there and you're going, okay, here, I'm here in front of you. It's like you're not seeing them. This card here, the Four of Wands, is normally the wonderful relationship card. It's fire, it's burning, it's bright, it's got a great future. You had it reversed. It's saying it's not there won't be a great future. It's actually at the moment you have too much work to do, because that fire energy isn't focused in the present. Your fire and your focus and everything you're thinking about is in the past. It's reversed. You're thinking, what if? What happened? You have to bring yourself in the present. You have to let go of things that didn't work in previous relationships. They're done, they're gone. It's you hanging on to it. You're giving it credence by thinking about it, by putting emotion into it, by putting thought into it. You're keeping it alive when it's actually long dead and buried. But you're actually creating it, and you're almost keeping the ghost of it there. And that's where the insecurities come from, because you're almost bringing that past into the present. That's the overthinking. You're not living in the present, you're living in the past. Overthinking things tends to be when we're living. We don't overthink the future, it hasn't happened. You can only overthink the past. You don't overthink the present, you live in the present. That's that one. We have the father figure. This father figure has two roles. One, it's someone we go to for advice, who has the answers, who we feel secure in. It's also a role model that can affect our relationships. When we're talking about how to improve a relationship, we often take our keys from our parents. The father in relationship is often, the male is often the one who gives the guidelines. A very strong male will definitely imprint on children how a relationship is, how a man treats his partner, how a woman allows the male partner to treat her. The two are very different. How he, the father, treats the mother, how the mother allows herself to be treated. Very, very big complex thing. It's just very much that when we look back on the relationships around us, and that often comes from our parents, our grandparents, our siblings who may be married, our aunts and uncles, our cousins, our wider family, people in our community who we look up to, when we see how they react, it imprints on us on how a good relationship is, what is a normal relationship, what is a giving, loving, nurturing relationship, or what is an insecure relationship. He looks very thoughtful. This man is very secure. He knows exactly what he wants and what he's doing, and he looks alert to protect his family. But you can see here the strength and everything around him. He's very grounded. So he knows exactly how to bring in a good, solid, strong, grounded relationship. We have here the youth and we have wisdom. The youth doesn't have the wisdom yet. His companion is with him. He's still learning. They have forged a friendship, a bond. This is a 3. This is the growth. This would be like the Empress, but in this card, he is a youth. He is the male counterpart of saying, I'm still learning, I'm growing into a relationship, and this is how far I have to travel to become full grown and fully fledged to understand what is required to have a relationship to grow. But for now, I have the loving companion and the loyalty of my animal next to me, and this is where I'm understanding that two people can be together. They can be individual and different, but still be together and connected. The wisdom here is the 10 and would normally be the Wheel of Fortune, but actually it is the card more like the Hermit, and this is telling us for things to change and for us to gain wisdom, first we have to look within and realize what it is we shine the light on, and that is the shadow. That is what we want to release. That is those things we don't like about ourselves, the insecurities, the jealousies, the way we feel that we don't want other people to know. There's but it's inside of us. We go, we're actually sort of, I don't want people to know I'm actually like that. That's not how I want people to see me, how they want me, how I want my friends to know me, how I want my partner to know me. But it's only when we actually understand those parts of ourselves and we integrate them and or release them that we actually start gaining wisdom and understanding that all of those experiences, even the worst ones, were there as learning experiences, and we had to learn, because that's how we find whether what we've learned is valuable to a relationship or harmful. It allows us to see the dichotomy of the two. Is it the youth still learning, or is it someone with wisdom? Sometimes in a relationship we can be both. We can still be learning in some areas and have wisdom in another. But the youth eventually will grow into the wisdom. And when we're there at that point of the wisdom, when we look inside, that's when we find the insecurities of the youth and the jealousies of the youth, and they're the things we have to work on. It doesn't matter what age we are, there will always be something inside that we know we need to work on with our relationships, because none of us are perfect and no relationship is perfect. You feel those two together? Yeah. It's really lovely they've come out, because this is picking up on not only the general things, but how it feels when you have that dichotomy of both. and it's the same again. This is definitely giving you, this is what happens when you release, and this is what happens when you don't. You have the crone. The 6 is the crone, and she is, I know I'm just learning and trying to grow, and I can recognize some of these shadows, but then I just get to thinking much, and insecurities, intrusive thoughts just pop up. What is happening is your shadows, you're trying to deal with them. And then when you try to push the insecurities and those intrusive thoughts, you're actually pushing the shadow stuff down deeper. You're not dealing with it. The way you deal with the shadow is you actually bring it up, you face it, and that's how you vanquish it. You can't suppress your insecurities and they'll go away. They just become more insecurities, then you just add others on top of them. When you have an insecurity and a shadow, when it comes up, you have to face it and go, why am I insecure? What created this? What started it? When you realise that and you talk it through and you realise where it came from, you went, now I understand, now I can let that go and move on, because I actually see where it's come from, and actually that's how I can let it go. This is the wisdom. This is like the Father. This is looking within and understanding and knowing that the raven is the dark shadow, and we only, the crone's message is very much, you have to face the dark side. You have to face that to understand. It is the duality of life, light and dark, light and shade. Until we face our darkest, deepest fears and insecurities, we cannot overcome them and vanquish them. You can't suppress them, you can't hide from them, you can't run from them, because they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. You have to let them come up, and you have to deal with them. That's what I colloquially call putting on the granny pants. It's not even the Bridget Jones big pants. You have to really pull up the granny pants or the granddad pants, and you have to actually do it. And it's not easy and it's not pleasant, but if you want to grow, that's what you have to do. That's what growing up's about. That's what being a grown-up is. That's adulting. And sometimes it is not nice to do. And especially when it comes to relationships and having been hurt and loved, sometimes we really have to try hard. And it doesn't happen every time, and sometimes it will take several attempts. But that's how we go through and learn and grow. And that's how we become better relationships and adulting and realizing who we are and understanding and liking and loving and accepting. Self-acceptance is a very big deal. We've had the seneschal before as well. This is the one who kind of guides the king and queen. And again, this grounding, this earthing is saying you can't move on until you've grounded yourself and understood where you come from, where you've grown from, why you are the way you are. Because we come from the earth. We come from the very most basic things. If you don't understand the full grounding of your parents, your grandparents, your brothers, your sisters, your relationships, how you deal with people on a daily basis, how you deal with things, situations, act and react, and ourselves. They go together. You have to be able to understand and be grounded to face these and go, I'm strong enough to do this, and I understand I have to do it. And I know that when I do, in the end, the patience, it'll be worth waiting for, I will be able to feel more at peace with myself and more grounded and more clear and more solid, and be able to work on the rest of me. Because it's a never-ending cycle, because we're never perfect. We have the Two of Water, which is the relationship card. This is saying, when we have the Two of Water, the relationship with ourselves is important, the relationship with others. But to improve our relationship with others, we have to improve the relationship with ourselves. Because learning to love ourselves and liking ourselves and accepting ourselves is the first part of having a relationship with somebody else. You have to be able to be strong on your own before you can then join with someone else who is equally strong on their own to become a joint, strong, equal couple in a relationship. And we have the Queen of Fire, because when we have that unity and the two are together as one, but independent, not codependent, then you have a strong, fiery, wonderful relationship that allows you to move forward and be strong and be passionate and be creative and be ambitious, and that flows on to the rest of your life. Because when you're at ease with yourself and at ease with your partner and things are going well, then you can focus on the outside. You can focus on the career and the job and the promotions and all the other things you want to do in life. Does that make sense, Leviathan? And growing up is a learning process. It's not a numbers game. And some people will tell you, oh, you should be like this in your 20s, you should be like this in your 30s. It happens when it happens, and you grow as you grow. I'm glad. But what you also need to know is you don't have to beat yourself up about it, because it is a lifelong journey. Hello, Senpai, how are you? Lovely to see you in here. Don't you tell Anna I was up this late. Let me look. So, Leviathan, we're going to pick you one last card, an oracle card. Do you want the universe? Do you want the moonology? Do you want the Wicca or the chakra? Anna keeps saying she's going to get up and I'm going to be finishing stream. She's probably not wrong, it's nearly 3 o'clock in the morning. This is the latest I've got. The universe. I can tell you now, guys, I don't think I'm going to be getting up at 5 o'clock to go for a 5,000 step walk tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. I might sleep in a little bit. I heart you. I've done 5,000 steps before breakfast this morning. That was at 6 o'clock. I was up at 5 and now I'm walking. Leviathan, I will do, I promise. If everyone really knew how much they were loved, not only from above, but by those in their life now, there'd be little hearts drawn on everything, from wheelbarrows to skyscrapers to jumbo jets. And I so look forward to that day. From the universe, big heart to you. When it says I heart you, it says I love you. When the universe says I love you, it's also saying, when you look in the mirror, if the universe can love you, it's you saying, I have to love me too. I have to learn to look in the mirror and love myself above all else, because from self-love comes the ability to share love. If you can't love yourself, how can you expect another human being to love you when you can't stand to love your own self? There is no truer word. If you can't love you, how can you ask another human being to love you? Don't say, another human being's love makes me better. No, that's not the other person's job. It is your job to love yourself. It is your job to do your happiness. It is a good card for this reading. It's absolutely the best card. And that's why I love the choices, because always the right card comes up. And when people say to me, I need him to complete me, or I need her to complete me. And I went, why is it their job? And why would you put that much pressure on another person, another human being? Why should they complete you? Why are you not complete on your own? If you cannot be complete and self-love and joyful on your own, how do you expect someone else to fill that role? Why should they complete you? Are you going to complete them? If you can't complete yourself, how do you complete them? Because you don't. You are independent and strong. You are not codependent. You are not reliant on another human being for your happiness, your joy, or love. If you are not happy on your own and love your own company and love yourself, why should someone else love your company? Why would you expect them to do something you can't do for yourself? If you can't say to yourself, I love myself, I'm worthy of love, I'm lovable, why would a complete stranger have to make those statements to you when you can't do them to yourself? Does that make sense, Leviathan? It's a very good card for this reading. Completely. Yeah, it does. Senpai, I'm doing Jasmine. Did you want a reading before I go? I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I thought I liked reading for you. Did you want a reading? I've opened the queue. If you want one, I will do you one. Gonna head out and get some lunch. I hope you have a wonderful night. Oh, have a wonderful morning. It's 3 in the morning here. If you put I join Senpai, and then after I've done Jasmine, I will do you, and then I am definitely closing the channel and going to bed. Okay? So I'm going to close it now. You're in the queue. And regardless of who comes in, I'm not opening the queue again. I can have 10 people join. We're not opening the queue. After you two, I'm reading no more. So, and there's nothing against, I'm happy to do them. Where is she? Too much, Jasmine? Are you here? Are you still here? I know some people have gone off to bed and some couldn't wait, so Jasmine, are you in chat, please? Please say yes and tell me a general reading or a specific reading and what deck you'd like. Please say you're in chat, or else I will move on to Senpai. Too much, Jasmine? Are you in chat? If not, I will move on. Are you here? I know it's gotten late. I don't know if you've hung around. I know we were talking and you were here a while ago. You were here at 2 o'clock. I know it's been nearly an hour. Okay. I think. Sampa, you're up. I'm not waiting around if she's obviously gone. I hadn't realised because she did say she was heading out. So, general and moonology. Okay. Now, this is an oracle deck, and so it gives different phases of the moon. So it's more like an oracle reading. It's not like a normal one. So we'll do this. We'll see what comes up for you. It's nice to finish with a reading for you. I like that. Comfy time to finish. Yeah, it's just, I know it takes energy, but, and we've had a few people in I've had to ban, but I love the energy when we're in here, and so it's not that I get tired, because I don't, it's just, I'm just not going to hang around and say, well, okay, we'll just chat for another 2 hours in case somebody comes in, not when I've been on for 7 hours. Like I said, Anna keeps saying she's going to get up and I'm going to still be reading and saying I'm going to bed now. She's going, I know, I'm going to stream now, Mum, bye. This is very different. I know, we keep saying that we're going to just cross it. It's going to be, bye, go to bed. Well, I normally don't read this late. I would normally stop at 11. I would go 8 to 11. And then it just like, I was going through to 2 in the morning. And she was saying, well, why are you doing so late? It's too long for you. And then like last time it was 6.5 hours. And tonight it's just gone 7. I don't mean to do really long streams. It's just Thursday. It just happens. I don't know. It's just the universe telling me this is my late night. This is the new moon in Cancer. Now, these cards, the moonology cards, talk about the different phases of the moon, whether it's a new moon or a full moon or a quarter moon or crescent moon, and in the zodiac signs is how the moon moves through quite quickly. So, and each phase of the moon in each zodiac sign has a different principle behind it. So this one, the new moon in Cancer, is the new moon is the dark moon, which means the sun's not on it. And this is when you and your loved ones are safe. So Cancer is an emotional water element. Cancer of the crab is from the water, and Cancerians are nurturing and loving and giving. I actually have my moon in Cancer. I have my sun in Libra, but my moon is in Cancer, and I identify with my moon in Cancer as much as I do my sun in Libra. So this is on your emotions, and often we find that when we have the energy of the new moon in Cancer, regardless of what sign we're in, we feel more loving, more nurturing, more protective. Because the crab has a hard shell, that's where we feel safe, because they feel protected, and because they're very much a crustacean that will go, when I'm in this, I'm safe from my environment, I'm safe from predators. They also look after their young. So there's very much you and all your loved ones are feeling safe because of the energy of the water which makes you feel caring and nurturing, but it's the Cancer, the zodiac sign of the crab, that brings in the safeness, the protection. So it's saying in the near future, going into the new year, you and your family, your loved ones, and those you care about will have a feeling of being safe and protected when you personally are around. That is what you will do. You will make them feel safe and protected and looked after and nurtured and cared for. The mutable moon. The mutable is a moon that is able to, mutable signs are changeable. So this is a changeable moon. Nothing is yet set in stone. So when we have a mutable moon in the sky, we feel very up in the air. It's like plans that we thought were settled aren't. When it's coming up to the end of a year and the start of a new year and also the start of a new decade, having this nothing is yet set in stone with a mutable moon is telling you that changes in the new year and the new decade, to double check the things that you thought were set in stone may have changed. Be aware of things changing quickly and have contingency plans to be aware of that, or the patience to understand that this is just the phase of the moon and within a few days to a week it'll all be done. Enjoy the holidays and go. Don't sweat the small stuff. You always try to have a contingency plan. It's a very good time to have one with getting that card up. Make sure you do. Years of anxiety. However it's done, it's a coping mechanism, it's a strategy that you use, and there are times it's a strategy that's very, very helpful. The new moon in Capricorn. The new moon again is the dark moon. We don't see the new moon, but we feel its energies very strongly. It pulls us in. In Capricorn, Capricorn is an earth sign. They're very tenacious, they're stubborn, they're obstinate, they're hardworking. They will just keep going and going and going, and they push through. Like butting your head up against a wall sometimes. They just don't give up. Sometimes that's a good trait, sometimes it's not so good. If they're in the wrong and they won't give in that they're in the wrong, that can cause friction and problems. And under this one, can be a problem. But normally, your hard work is paying off. So all the things you've planted, all the things you've done up to now, are going to come back, because as the new moon becomes a full moon, you'll get your rewards. Like everything, there is a time and a season. You have the new moon in Sagittarius. You're getting a lot of new moons. The new moons are very much telling you that there is a lot going on under the surface. There is a lot of things still in the dark, but you have the tenacity to get through that, and these are telling you there are certain attributes that will help you get through the dark times until the full moon and the sun is shining on the moon and illuminating it. In Sagittarius, Sagittarians are leaders. They're expansive, they're a fire sign. They're considered to be lucky, generous, giving. Luck is on your side. So when you have the Archer, they're right on the mark. So it's very much, the new moon is right on the money for making sure you get luck and what is coming to you in the nice way on your side. The arrow isn't pointed at you, it's pointed at what you want. These are well shuffled, and you've got another one. This is a very, very big message for you, is that during new moons in the new year, all through the new year, you've had so many, you need to take notice of what you're doing, because it's very important, because it will manifest and come to fruition in the full moons. The new moons in 2020 are going to be powerful for you. Very powerful indeed. The new moon is Scorpio. Scorpio is the deep diver of the zodiac. There are many, and these have been well shuffled. This has come out for you for a reason. Hi love, sorry not being here lately. Happy birthday for your beautiful daughter on the 17th. Visited my sister this week and got the terrible fever. That's not great. I just wanted to drop by and say hi. I love you and I miss you. Since I can't stay tomorrow, I'll be back home. Not a problem, Lala. Absolutely fine. You take care. We will catch up later, and I'll catch you up on all the challenges, my personal challenge, the goal challenges for between Anna and I on follows and subs for the next 12 months, and the gaming challenge this that we have going on, because I was trolled by gamers and I turned it back on them, and now they have a charity challenge, and if they don't come through and bring gamers in that are willing to spend some money for charity, I'm quite happy to say who they are and go, do you know what, guys? You're out challenged by a 60-year-old woman. How do you feel? So you're fine. And I hope you got over your terrible fever, and you take care, and we will catch up with you later. Because after I've done Sampa, I'm going to bed. Because I've been reading for 7.25 hours. And I'll be in trouble in the morning. No, I won't, not really. So the new moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is the deep diver. This is the one that goes, they're not afraid of the depths. They're not afraid of facing the fears and facing the dark. Scorpios are very deep. They're very truthful. They will not take any nonsense. They're incredibly sensual. They're like Scorpios in the fact that they're not afraid of passion. They're not afraid of their deep feelings. They will actually embrace them. But, you take care, sweetie. Love to you all. Bye. So for you, the message is work through your fears. And it doesn't matter how deeply ingrained those fears are, the new moon in Scorpio is going to allow you to work through them. So like I said, for you getting 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5, that's a lot. So I want you for 2020 to get an app or to have something to alert you when the new moons are coming each month, and you know what they are, because that is going to be very important for you. And you finally have a full moon, and see all of these, the waning moon and all the full moons, the culmination is a full moon. And that's just saying, you always look at them in anyway, love constellations and the law behind them. These have a real big message for you. The new moons for you next year are going to be expansive. They're really important in what you're doing at the time and how it affects you. But the payoff is there. Because you have a full moon in Aries, and Aries is the start of the zodiac, it's a leadership sign. So a full moon in Aries is all systems go, it's full fire, it's full energy, it's starting something, hugely leadership role. A fiery climax approaches. In other words, all of this has led up to this. The new year for you is going to end up with a supercharged moon, and everything you've been trying to work on is going to come through for you. Really, really having that at the end, the money card. Definitely. But very especially, so many new moons, very much. And also when they go into void and it's dark, that can also have its challenges, so really be aware of those, but especially in new moons. Now, I know you had an oracle card, but would you like a universe, a chakra, or a wicked card? Or a new crystal card? I haven't opened them up. Is chakra? You know, I'll never say no to one. I always finish with an oracle card. And if someone's had an oracle reading, there's lots of other oracle decks that they can choose from. Because the Moonology is a new deck tonight. I literally, it came today. That one Anna bought me this afternoon, the crystals. And I actually got this tarot Sola Busca, which is an absolute faithful representation of 1490, one of the first decks by the Sola Busca family, which started tarot. And I've been waiting for that deck for a long time, and I was able to get her to pick it up for me today. So yeah, and I'm waiting on 3 more decks to come from Zero, so hopefully they'll be here in a few days. Love this one for you. 4th chakra, the heart chakra. Unconditional love. I allow myself to be open to giving and receiving love without fear of rejection. I give without expecting recognition or acknowledgement in return. When I am loving to others, I am helping bring out the innate love within them so they also feel uplifted, worthy and cared for. That is very much what that first card was all about, you making people feel safe and loved and cared for and protected. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect card for you. Even your writings in green is absolutely perfect. I'm glad I finished on this card, it's gorgeous. I love myself and the way I am, not the way I was or could be, and I extend this love to others. That's important. I love myself the way I am, not the way I was or the way I could be. And I extend this love to others. So I love everyone around me as they are now, not for who they were, not for who they might be, but right in this present moment, I love them for who they are as I love myself. I teach others how to love and respect me by how I love and respect myself. And that is a message that I try to get through to everybody. Other people learn in relationships about how to treat you by how you allow them to treat you, by saying, I will not allow you to disrespect me. I love myself enough to tell you that I won't accept that behaviour. And that's what I try to get across to people in this channel, is when I've had to ban people, like I did a certain young man today, who was then trying to tell me that he hadn't been warned, that the boundaries I keep are because I respect myself enough that I will not allow someone to disrespect me at any time, and certainly not in my own channel and to my face when I have given them opportunity after opportunity, more than I should have done. So that is something for you to take on board. Unconditional love for yourself, and others will treat you with love and respect if you do exactly the same to yourself. How does that reading make you feel? I'm glad. It was a beautiful reading. I love those cards. and I've done chakra cards. One of them, that's the first, was the first Moonology reading I've done, so I'm glad it was for you, and it was beautiful. Very powerful Moonology reading. I'm going to enjoy working with those. But for the 4 people that are still watching at 3 in the morning, thank you so much for staying through on this very... I love them too. I do. I actually, when I was younger, actually thought of being an astronomer professionally. It's one of the sciences I took, and I was so close to going, I actually am a Malloy in bed. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. So I will say good night to everybody. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for subscriptions. Thank you for staying around and letting me read for you. Again, if you followed, please press the notifications and Twitter. You're very welcome, Dandy. You're very welcome. Love you too. And good night. God bless. And if you want to see what I do again, go down below and you will see when I'm on Saturday. But for now, good night. It's time for me to end the stream and get to bed. Because by the time I get to bed, it'll be 3:30, got the 4. And I need to get to sleep now. Good night, everyone. Take care. Ending the stream now. Night. Night, Mama. Night, Senpai. Good night, everyone. Thank you for staying with me. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Oh, I think after 7.5 hours, I definitely better stop streaming. Night.